In March of 2010, Judy Gentry, the 70-year-old founder of Aging Outrageously Well, visited the school we are building in Kasenge, Uganda, for 150 orphans and children of parents on death row. This area of Uganda has never seen help from anyone, not the government, no NGOs, nor any other nonprofit until now. In Uganda, children are forced to leave school when they can no longer pay the school fees. Our school will not have such fees. Everyone involved with this project, including future teachers, are all volunteers. This is a school being built from love, with love, for love. Judy traveled to our school in Uganda with her daughter Christy and her grandson Jory. They wanted to share some of their experience with you. The first building being built is the school library, named Wisdom. Initially, this building will school all 150 children until individual classroom buildings are built.
Hi, my name is Christy, and I'm in Uganda, and I'm here at the new library, and it's been very exciting to come visit this project. They are working on building a school library, and eventually there'll be also an orphanage here, a place to house children who have no mother or father. We also are excited about the idea that they are helping the children of the prisoners that are on death row. Many of those children do not have an opportunity to go to school, and they will be able to come to this school and get an education and make a better life for themselves.
Hi, I'm Judy Gentry, and I'm here in Uganda with some very good friends. And Edward, I'd like to ask you to explain the project and what you hope to do with the school and why you are building the school.
Yeah, it was my dream when I was in prison that my children whom I left outside, they never went to school because I was not around. Now I took the initiative that I should start a project whereby my children, the children of the prisoners on death row might get a chance to come to school.
I just wanted to put in a little bit about Edward. Edward was imprisoned in the time of Idi Amin for a crime he did not commit. He was in prison for 20 years for murdering a man who was not dead. He was walking around. So it was injustice. And since he has, during the time he was in prison, he was helping the other prisoners to learn to read and to write. They never knew when they were going to be killed because he was kept on death row for 20 years. But he's such a crusader, such a brave man, that now when he's out, he is crusading for the children of the prisoners who are in death row, because the children sometimes have the stigma and they are shunned and they're not allowed to go in the regular schools. So Edward's dream is to have them a school here for the children of those prisoners who get a chance at an education and to be good citizens of Uganda, but also for the orphans.
And now, please meet a few of our children.
Thank you.
Yes. What do you hope to be as you get higher in your education? What would you like to be?
I would like to be a doctor by profession.
Ah. And then what would you do as a doctor? Would you?
I would help the orphans. I'll treat some members who will be sick with some problems. I will treat them.
Since Judy's visit in March of 2010, the library has progressed brick by brick. We are now ready for the iron sheets for the roof. Each sheet costs $15 US, and we need 125 sheets. Mpagi Edward Admari was held for nearly 2 decades on death row under Idi Amin's reign of terror in Uganda for a crime he did not commit. Upon his release, instead of harboring anger, resentment, and bitterness, Edward forgave his captors and set out to do whatever he could to help the dozens upon dozens of orphan children in his village. His dream was to build them a school, as orphans are kicked out of school in Uganda when their parents die, since they can no longer pay the school fees, leaving them to fend for themselves on the streets. Ground was finally broken to build the school in December of 2009. They started fundraising for their Bricks of Love. Only $10 US purchases 90 bricks in Uganda. Little by little, brick by brick, the walls of the first building, the library named Wisdom, were formed, all through the efforts of volunteers. This library will initially serve as a classroom for 150 orphans until the dormitories and K-6 separate classroom buildings are finished. Edward brought on an accomplished accountant as his assistant manager for the project, Katangole Ronald. Between the two of them, the work progresses steadily and smoothly as funds reach them monthly from Kathy in the United States, thanks to the hardworking volunteers on site and donors worldwide like you. Many more funds are needed, however, to continue the progress on this library and the entire compound. A school being built from love, for love, with love. In March of 2010, through more serendipity, Kathy was contacted by Judy Gentry, the 70-year-old founder of Aging Outrageously Well. Judy, her daughter Christy, and her grandson Jory were heading to Uganda and wanted to know if we would like them to visit the school project and bring anything. Yes! Thanks to these three wonderful supporters, we are working on some film they took, so you may meet Edward, Ronald, the volunteers, and a few of our children via video. Please join us. The more funds we receive, the sooner we complete this first building, and the sooner a generation of children in Kasenge, Uganda may go back to school. With love and gratitude, all of us. In October of 2011, 4 members from the nonprofit Journey of Hope from Violence to Healing traveled from America to Africa as part of their work to end the death penalty worldwide. Their first stop was to meet with Mpaji Edward Edmari, manager of our Uganda School Project, to build a school and orphanage for 150 children in his village. A few weeks prior to the visit, Edward suffered a stroke and became partially paralyzed on his left side. Even so, with our wonderful assistant manager, Katangole Ronald, by his side, Edward traveled with the journey throughout Uganda and Rwanda, speaking about his death row experience, moving many hearts in the process. This little film will show you some of Journey of Hope's visit to our school being built in Kasenge, Uganda. In Uganda, when a child is orphaned or a parent is on death row, they are forced to leave school as they cannot pay the school fees. Our school, being built by and eventually staffed with only volunteers, will have no such fees. We thank the Journey for bringing hope to our orphans in the form of school supplies, a financial donation, and the gift of their time, meeting so many of the children that will benefit from our school when it is finished and we can open the doors.
Made you smile. Say hi.
You give it to him? Mẹ đâu ạ? Good night.